Good morning, everybody. I hope that you're well. There's been a change of plan on the podcast today. So there was supposed to be my responses to your questions, but the last 12 hours have been a bit of a wild ride. 12 hours ago, I had one of the most powerful conversations I've probably ever had, in that it really pushed me and helped me think about some things and kind of what I'm doing and where I'm going and some decisions that I am working through. And I can't get this one particular question out of my mind. So I want to bring it to you and let's figure it out together. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Roseanna. I'm the host of the Design Your Legacy podcast. With this podcast, I really hope to help inspire you to believe that anything is possible and that you can live the life of your dreams, and encourage you to go after that. It takes a brave soul to really chase a wonderful life. It's not for the faint-hearted, but it's all entirely within reach, even though that's not what we're sold. So, yes, so last night I had a call with my coach, and we're working through some stuff kind of about just where I am and where I am headed, and a couple of decisions based around my beliefs of freedom and my desiring freedom and what I think would hold me back, and some decisions that I am making I'm seeing things very black or white, and not necessarily playing in the grey area. Now, if you saw my Instagram live the other day, I spoke about I don't really know where I'm going at the minute. I don't have an end goal in mind, and that's a really powerful place to be. And this is why, because we're not playing in the black or white. We're not playing in that I have to go here because this is what my beliefs are telling me. I have to go here because this is what society is telling me. This is what success looks like. If I don't have that, I'm not successful. This is what we've been programmed to believe. This isn't true. So playing in this middle ground, in this grey area that's not black or white, is actually really powerful. And this is where our expectations of what life should look like go out the window. And when we don't have expectations, it opens space for big stuff to happen, and stuff that you might not have dreamt of doing, but because maybe you didn't believe it was possible. But actually, we're all on a journey. We're all on this life path. And so kind of not having expectations about what your life should look like there's a lot of freedom in that. So we were chatting, and we kind of got to the end of the call, and he read me something he'd written, which was really powerful, made me cry, and I managed to hold back tears a lot of the time, which we shouldn't do. We should release them, but it was so powerful, it made me cry. And then we just got kind of speaking about how actually, peace comes from the present moment. Love comes in the present moment. The present moment is the most powerful thing we have, and everybody in some way is trying to seek presence. Everybody in some way is trying to come back to their soul. Everybody in some way is trying to connect deeper to themselves and others. But we all do it very, very, very differently. there's a way that society tells us we connect. There's a way that the monks tell us we can connect, and then there's the in-between ground. But we're all chasing something, and actually in the end it doesn't matter. None of it matters. The things that we're chasing don't matter. So we are programmed from a young age to build a persona. We build a persona of ourselves. This persona is then what we show to the world. This persona has an idea of what success is. This persona has an idea of who they want to be with. This persona has an idea of what fun is. This persona has an idea of what happiness is and what love is, and this persona, you know, is a mask that we wear for the outside world, known as, you know, the ego. It's built by the ego, and it's built by Russell's so funny, roaming around. So we have this persona, and everything that we build within this persona is all, how much of it is for ourselves? How much of it is actually for us? How much of it really matters? I know the persona that I built. Now I don't connect with her anymore. I'm not that person that I was a year ago. I'm not that person that I was 5 years ago. I'm not the person I was 10 years ago. I am more of myself again. I'm probably more like the 5-year-old version of me than I am the 25-year-old version of me. And that thought brings me real happiness, because children are so pure. We have no expectations. We have belief that we can do absolutely anything. Anything is possible. We laugh, we cry, we, you know, experience joy in the little things, you know, be it a hug from our parents or colouring in a picture. So I believe when we're children, we are at our most pure, and we spend so much time just in the present moment. And we're at our happiest. So then we grow up and we build this persona, and that happiness, and then everything we're doing is trying to bring us, we're trying to reach happiness again. We're trying to reach freedom again. We're trying to reach joy. We're trying to reach how we felt as an innocent, pure child. And we're programmed to do it in ways that can potentially harm us. We have a wall built around us because we've all been hurt. A wall around our hearts that protects us. We are more programmed into the survival instinct, so we need to build this illusion of safety for ourselves. Safety and security. We have these needs, and we want to make loads of money, so that, because we think that money can buy us happiness. Money gives us a lot of things, it really does, but all of that stuff actually has to come from within you. It can't, the money doesn't bring it, it comes from within you. You could be a millionaire and still utterly miserable. You can be poor as anything and really happy. We think we need to get married, again, for safety, for security. A lot of marriages are codependent. A lot of marriages are an attachment. They aren't necessarily built on what pure love is. Now, I'm not married, so I hold my hands up. Like I don't know these relationships myself, only from my outside in, from speaking to people. We do all of these things. We buy all of the stuff. We try and fix ourselves every single day. And if you strip everything back, if you strip it all back to us at our purest, it doesn't matter. If you strip every moment back, it doesn't, nothing that you've done before matters. Yes, I know we help people. Most of us have a desire to help people in some way, and that can drive a lot of what we do. This drives my podcast, it drives the jewellery I create, it drives the people I coach, it drives me to coach people, it drives me to do a lot of things. It drives me to bring more meditation in the world, my desire to help people. Yes, that matters. But the most pure thing is now. So, this morning, my 12 hours continues. And this morning, I woke up, I set my alarm, it's a Sunday morning, I set my alarm for 4 a.m. and I did my meditation, and then off I went up the hill behind, I'm at my mum's this weekend, I went off up the hill behind my mum's house and watched the sunrise. And I sat there in absolute bliss. I nearly didn't take my phone, but I did want to take some photos. So I took a few photos, but for the rest of the time, I was just watching the sunrise. Nobody around, me and the birds, watching the sunrise. And it's in that moment I felt the most joy than I have for a long time. Pure joy, not happiness. I'm happy. I'm a happy person. I have lots of reasons to be, lots of external reasons to be happy, lots of internal reasons to be happy. But it was just so pure and so real. And I think we're coming to a place where a lot of people are realising this. COVID brought us this, the things that matter. I believe it brought us back to, a lot of us back to nature. Lots of people left the big cities to go and be back in the countryside. Lots of people feeling more inclined to be in nature. Yeah, it was just, and so this question that I was asked at the end of my call was, if none of the stuff that we've done before matters, if none of the stuff that is programmed into our mind matters, if nothing matters, because all we really have is now, if nothing matters but this present moment, what would you do? Nothing matters. You've got no, fear doesn't matter. Fear doesn't exist, right? Yes, we think fear exists. Our ego has programmed fear into us. Fear doesn't exist, only love exists, okay? Just take my word for it. Only love exists. So nothing matters. Nothing, your persona that you've built, nothing that you've done before, nothing that you believe, nothing that you think is you, nothing that you think is true, none of that matters. In every moment, you get a fresh start. In every moment, you get a fresh start. You get to choose. This is your free will. You get to choose how you experience life. You get to choose how you be. So if nothing else matters, what would you do? What would you do in this life? What would you do tomorrow? What would you do right now? Tomorrow, would you wake up at 4 a.m. and go and walk up a hill to watch the sunrise? Would you hold your loved ones closer? And then another question that came out of this for me was, if in a year I didn't exist, the planet didn't exist, humanity didn't exist, what would I do? So what would you do if in a year the planet and humanity didn't live? And you're not allowed to save the planet. It's not going to happen. You're done with that. You just know that there's an end date to humanity and to the world and to you. You and your physical body, because our souls will always live on. But what would you do? You've got a year and nothing matters. What are you going to do with it? So that's my Sunday message to you. I love you. I have nothing else to say. It was so powerful, and I can tell I'm going to be mulling this one over for a little while, meditating on it and journaling about it. I've already journaled a lot in the last few hours, but yeah, it's an interesting way to look at life. You know, we're so programmed that we have to have a plan. We're so programmed that we have to have goals. Especially, I've been in business for 7 years, been setting goals for 7 years. I've had expectations of myself for 7 years. I haven't met all of those expectations, and I've let myself down for 7 years. And, you know, in lots of different ways, in my health, in my relationships, in my career, and, you know, I've also met a lot of expectations. I've grown. I'm a wonderful human. And I know that I have a wonderful soul, but to me that's what's most important now, is coming back to that soul, and coming back to the most pure version of myself, and letting her shine through. So stripping back the things that don't matter, stripping back the fear, stripping back everything, and just living for the moment, which is ironic because I had that tattooed on me when I was 18 years old. Live for the moment. It's nearly faded away now, but I knew it then, although it had a very, very different meaning to me than it does now. Enjoy your weekend. If you'd like to connect with me on Instagram, please do. All the links are below. I really hope this resonated with you in some way. Spend some time journaling, and yeah, enjoy the now. Lots of love.